Good morning everyone, welcome to Power Yoga with Jennifer. Beautiful crisp spring morning. I hope you're ready. Okay, we're going to start off, we need to do a little warm up. So we're going to just come into our cat-cow position. Nice deep breath in. And exhale. Just working at your own pace here. Think about awakening that spinal fluid for your practice this morning. I'm going to come back into child's pose. Big stretch. Stretching forwards. Squeeze those glutes. And then we're going to tuck our toes underneath and come up into our first downward facing dog. Just take whatever adjustments you need. Let's just pedal out through the heels. We need to awaken up those hamstrings. Lovely. Final big stretch. And then just take your knees down to the mat. Imagine that someone's just lifting you up through your hips, and we're going to take a nice big jump to the front of the mat. Coming into ragdoll pose. And then gently rolling up through the spine. Take a moment here in mountain pose. Just bring your focus to your breath. Okay, let's get started. Shifting weight over to the right hand side, lifting up your left leg, and stepping back in your high lunge. You go a little bit deeper in that lunge. Inhale up. And exhale down. Two more. One more. Transition into warrior one. Inhale up. Exhale down. Interlace fingers. Open up through the chest. Forward fold. Just let your arms come up and over the top as much as they possibly can. Come back to center. Transition to warrior two. Come into a peaceful warrior. And back to your warrior two. You're going to take an extended side angle. And then come into a bind. Left hand's coming behind your back, right arm's coming underneath. Interlacing fingers, opening up chest, looking down at the mat. Release the bind, back into warrior two. And we're going to come into a triangle pose, straighten up that front leg. Right arm's coming down, pivoting from the hips, find your choice of angles. Take into a Bikram triangle, just move that front knee forward. Hello, Pascal. This is Chester. Hello, Chester. Coming back into triangle pose. Transitioning back into your warrior two. And then we're going to dial it round to the center. Take your hands onto the front of the mat and come up into a standing split. If your practice will allow it this morning, taking your hands off. Woo! A bit wobbly on the grass here. Taking hands down to the mat, bring your left leg to join your right and come into your ragdoll position. Gently rolling up through the spine. And then we're going to do the same little dance but on the other side. I'm just going to jump to the side of my mat so you can still see me okay. So left foot forward this time, right leg's coming up, and back into our lunge. Keep yourself nice and steady, and then inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One more, inhale up, exhale down. Transition into warrior one. Hips are facing forward. Taking hands up to the sky. Exhale, bring them down, interlace fingers opening up through the chest. And fold. Taking arms up and over the top as much as you possibly can. Lovely, returning back to the center. Let's transition into warrior two. And coming into peaceful warrior, right arm's coming down the back of the leg, left arm's coming up over the top. Keep it on the midline. Keep your tailbone tucked under. And let's transition back to warrior two. Coming to an extended side angle now. Left arm's coming to the top of your left leg. Right arm's coming up straight. Pointing fingers up to the sky. All the way down to the toes, a nice line. Option to stay here if you want to, or take the bind. Right arm's coming behind your back. Left arm's coming underneath. Interlacing fingers, opening up through the chest. And looking down at your mat. Engaging your core, coming back up into that warrior two. And we're going to transition into triangle pose. Straighten up that front knee, lifting from the hips, and take your choice of position for your hand. It's wild this morning. Coming into a Bikram triangle. Keep your body in the same position. Just come forward on that knee. Fabulous, engaging core, coming back to your warrior two. Bring your arms down and round to the front of the mat. Get ready to kick off with that right foot, coming into a standing split. Option here to keep both your hands on the mat. Take one off, take both off, depending on whether your practice or your ground will allow it. Lovely. Bring that right foot back to the front and come into ragdoll pose. Option here to take your arms in your elbows, or your hands in your elbows, and then gently just motion from right to left, just releasing your back. And then gently coming up through the spine. Okay. We're going to do to sun salutations. This is power yoga, we're going to go quite quickly. Nice deep breath in. Raise your arms up to the sky, gentle back bend. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, extending through the spine. Let's take our right leg back, followed by left. Let's take a chaturanga, vinyasa. Come into your downward facing dog. Lifting right leg, left leg up. Followed by right. And then gently rolling up through the spine. Let's go again. Inhale, arms coming to the sky, gentle back bend. Just from your thoracic, not from your lumbar. Inhale, exhale, fold. Halfway lift and fold. Left leg back first, followed by right. Option here to lower yourself straight to the ground or push all the way through. Tucking toes under and coming into that downward facing dog. Right leg's coming up, pushing through, followed by left. Moment in a fold and gently coming back up to center. Nice deep breath in, return to your prayer position. Lovely. Okay, taking your hands down to either side of the mat. You can either jump or step back your feet to the back of the mat. The reason I'm hesitating is I'm thinking I'm not in the best, safest position to jump here, so I'm going to step back my right foot, followed by my left foot. Come back into that downward facing dog and lift up our right leg. Sweep it through to your left elbow, followed by right and back up to the sky. And again, left, right, sky, and then left and right and sky. Take that one down and take the left up. Right elbow, left elbow, and sky. Right elbow, left elbow, and sky. One more time. Right elbow, left elbow, and then sky. Lovely. Taking both your feet back to the mat. We're going to come into our plank position now. And we're going to do a side plank. So you've got a couple of options here. Once you've chosen your options. Okay, so keeping your feet hip distance apart. If you just pivot on the balls of your feet are going to very nicely slot in next to each other. Okay, if you keep them directly next to each other, they can stack up one on top of the other, she says, and come round. Or the easier option is to drop that inside knee and then just open up with a bit of extra support. Okay, so taking your choice of options. And then again, option to stay here, or we're going to come through eye of the needle. So left arm's coming down and round, and then up, and down and round, and up, down and round, and up. One more time, down and round, and up. Lovely. Right, I want you just to come back into your plank pose and stay there for a minute. Just going to jump to the other end of my mat. Okay, so you're in your plank pose, shifting weight over to the left hand side this time. Taking your choice of options with your feet and opening up to the sky. Option to stay here if you want, otherwise we're going to take that right arm through the eye of the needle. And one, and open, and two, open, and three, open, and four, and open. Lovely, coming back into your plank. Okay, you're going to push back up into that downward facing dog. And then I want you to lower your knees down to just about an inch off the mat. And back up again. And then take your knees down. And back up again. And this time we're going to take our hips out to the left-hand side as we take our knees down to the mat. And then back up. And down to the right. And back up. Down to the front. And back up. To the left. And back up. And to the right. And back up. Lovely. Nice deep breath in. Take knees down to the mat. And let's jump to the ground. Come into that forward fold. And gently come up through the spine. All right. Tiny bit of balance before we finish off. So we're going to come into a chair pose. And we're going to take an option to come up and down within the chair pose. Fairly, well, not too slowly, but we're going to do 4 different positions, okay? Nice deep breath in, arms up to the sky. Exhale, come all the way down as low as you can in that chair pose, because we've got to come up in 4 different positions. Okay, coming up 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. And up, well done. Okay, we're going to do that in reverse, so we're starting at the top this time. Nice deep breath in, raising arms to the sky, and just coming down gently. And 2. And 3. And 4. And gently coming up. Well done. Lovely. Okay, we're just going to do tree pose to finish off. So, choice of option here is to place your foot against your ankle or your calf, or bring it all the way up to your groin. Okay, so take your choice of options. Bring hands to heart center. Nice deep breath in. Find your focus. Find your drishti. These leggings are very slippery. And release. Well done. Okay. It's a totally new challenge as well, working on very uneven ground. It's good. Okay. If this is easy for you, then please feel free to close your eyes. Alright, ready? Taking your choice of options for your foot. Got my head into the uneven ground now, you see. Okay, hands coming to heart center. Raising up to the sky. Uneven ground. Better of me. And release. Well done. Thank you very much everyone for joining me. I have no idea what time it is, I just know it's very early in the morning. Hopefully that was about 15 minutes because I know that's what you guys wanted. Have an amazing day. Namaste.